There was nothing in the world like the United States when our founders got to create a new nation over 200 years ago. But those founders had the wisdom to create paths to make changes as situations called for it.
And some have been calling for 20 years now to get rid of the Electoral College, thinking it has outlived its era. Well, this is the focus of tonight's Buckley Report.
I, George Walker Bush, do solemnly swear.
Twice this century, first with George W. Bush,
the office of President of the United States.
16 years later with Donald Trump,
so help me God.
The U.S. inaugurated a president who lost the popular vote. And that has led some Democrats to say that maybe the Electoral College that put them in office is past its expiration date.
Why do 12 states get to pick the president, right? So that's what's happening now.
Duke professor Mike Munger,
the rules are more important than you think they are,
says getting rid of the Electoral College is a bad idea.
So the idea that we should get rid of the Electoral College because some people don't like the outcomes that it produces, you need to be careful what you're wishing for. The outcomes would be very different. What we would have is campaigns that would focus just on 6 or 7 very large states with very large population. It would change the character of politics in the United States in ways that's hard to predict.
There have been 5 cases in which the loser of the popular vote became president. First with Martin Van Buren in 1824, then in 1876 with Rutherford B. Hayes, then again just 12 years later when Benjamin Harrison beat incumbent Grover Cleveland, before the 2 most recent cases. But at least in the elections of 1888 and 2016, the Electoral College gave the winners large margins of victory, something many historians say was one of the ideas behind it. You know, the founders wanted democracy, but they were wary of too much democracy, which is why we have the Electoral College, which is why we had the indirect election of senators.
The obvious answer is yes, but the other question is, are we immediately getting away from it? We've been getting away from it since 1824. You know, when the Jacksonians came along, the moment we started directly electing electors for president, we were departing their precedent, right?
One way to reweight the votes of the big states is to expand the House of Representatives. Should we expand Congress to reduce the number of people each representative represents?
Yes, and we should have a formula to continue to do it. We used to do this until about 1890.
If we kept that process going, we'd have about 675 members of the U.S. House right now.
You know what else is fun about that number? That's about the number of people that are currently in the House of Commons in Great Britain.
The other thing people seem to forget about how we elect presidents is that the Constitution doesn't say that we, the people, get to select the president with our individual votes. It says that each state has a vote in who will be the president of these individual but united states. Bob Buckley, Fox 8 News.
Duke's Mike Munger says those who say the president is selected now by just 7 swing states would get much the same thing if the presidents were chosen by the straight popular vote. But again, as you mentioned, instead of those candidates focusing on the 7 battleground states, they would spend almost all of their time in the 7 or so most populous states. Only one of those is a current battleground, Pennsylvania. North Carolina is the 9th most populous, so we would likely continue to see a steady stream of candidates through the state.